This chop loser started working under a scary senior, but actually that bombshell of a baddie is soft on the inside and can't resist his unintentional Riz and wants him now. Azusa is a senior worker at her workplace, To her co-workers, she's cool, strict, and straightforward, sometimes scary and rude. In reality, Azusa is just really awkward. She's good at her work, but sucks at any form of friendly communication, although she's good at hiding her awkward and clumsy side. Everything proceeds as usual at work until Eiji, the department head, calls Azusa in for a word. Eiji informs Azusa that she will be in charge of training a newbie who will join them that very day. The newbie is quite something. He reportedly scored highest in the exams, and considering she's one of the most competent workers in the company, Eiji wants her to take the newbie under her wings. Azusa is maintaining her composure physically, but deep down she's having a panic attack. It's like making a shy introvert give an impromptu public speech. Just when she had finally established the do not disturb personality, this had to come. She has really bad communication skills, but Eiji clearly hasn't noticed that she doesn't fit into the office. Just as she overthinks about this, the newbie arrives. He seems really high beat, apologizing for arriving late. After being informed that Azusa is to be his mentor, the newbie introduces himself politely as Yu. Azusa welcomes him with a poker face. He seems like a good dude, and in her mind she's willing to try her best, although she dreads the whole mentor thing. Azusa starts by giving Yu a tour through the office, and this has to be the most straightforward, spiceless tour. She shows him basically everything, including his desk, which is right next to hers. At the end of the tour, Yu thanks Azusa and seeks her permission to ask for help from her if he ever needs it. Azusa has no problem with that. She probably hates it deep down. Azusa is caught off guard when Yu asks what he's to do for the day. Of course, she was supposed to teach him his job. She's stunned for a bit, but quickly composes herself. She asks Yu to tag along as she meets some clients, just for observation. Before they leave, Azusa tries to teach Yu how to exchange business cards. However, she's a bit clumsy with it, and the case opens violently. The cards scatter around the place. If only her clients were the floor, that would have been some dope handing of business cards. Yu quickly picks them up and hands them to Azusa, who's suffering from third-degree embarrassment burns. They finally meet with the clients, and everything goes smoothly. Yu behaves perfectly as he should. Okay, maybe a little bit too perfectly, as he observes Azusa with his eyes peeled till she ends up feeling nervous. Azusa's only wish is not to screw this up. At the end of everything, Azusa is really exhausted from all her mentoring duties. It's lunchtime, and as the mentor, she should invite Yu for lunch. But just as the thought comes in, she quickly considers the fact that it could be workplace harassment for her, a senior, to ask a junior out for lunch. As she struggles with her thoughts, she worries that not inviting Yu will seem unfriendly, but she doubts they'll have anything to talk about over lunch. Maybe just discuss Pokemon. Overwhelmed, she decides against it and tells Yu she has a meeting instead. Once she's away, Azusa feels guilty about her choice. At the end of the day, Yu is ready to leave and lets Azusa know. She doesn't say much, although she knows she needs to, even if it's just complimenting his performance for the day or something. Yu thanks her for everything, mentioning that he doesn't know if he did well as he was really nervous. Azusa replies that as a newbie, it's only natural. She adds that she's his mentor, so he can rely on her. She actually doesn't say any of this in a friendly tone. It's like she's just sending the words out with a blow dart. As Azusa leaves the office, the thought that Yu was nervous as well crosses her mind. She hadn't considered that and only thought about herself. She needs to do better. The next day, Azusa comes to meet Yu, discussing with other co-workers. She tells them to move out of her way, and they quickly do. Yu is excited for yet another day, so it doesn't really matter. To Azusa, uttering the word move is a huge step in her progress with communication. As the day goes on, Azusa instructs Yu on what to do, but her main objective of the day is to invite him for lunch. It's lunchtime, and just as Azusa is about to make the move and invite Yu, he isn't in his seat. Yu got a cup of ramen to have at his desk. Azusa is pissed. She scolds him for not minding his health, considering he's having ramen. Despite being upset that her plans got ruined, she low-key just pities him. He must be broke to settle for just a single cup of ramen. Azusa beats herself up about not being able to invite her junior for lunch, and she's supposed to be a mentor. There's a sumptuous meal before her, but Yu is back at the office, probably chewing up his cup since the ramen would most likely not be to his satisfaction. As she sits, she remembers her really good mentor from back when she was still a newbie. Her mentor had assured her weary self that everything would be fine, pointing out Azusa's strongest suit to be her straightforwardness. Drifting back to the present, Azusa just continues with her lunch. She leaves the building and is on a call with a friend. They discuss a bit of business and Yu gets brought up. Azusa's friend Rizzed teases her about being a mentor. Knowing her well enough, he tells her to take it easy on Yu and not be rude. Also, he points out her lack of communication skills. Rizzed even suggests a book that could help with this, but Azusa refuses, stating that she doesn't need help from someone else's success story. Workday comes to an end and everyone takes their leave. Azusa heads home but takes a detour to buy some books. Turns out the success story of others might be of help after all. She gets a whole bunch of it. It's almost like having a Harry Potter collection. However, she had been so focused on this that she forgot to get dinner. Guess who's settling for ramen? The same thing she scolded Yu for. She's determined to improve and tries her best to practice as she reads. She tries smiling, but it seems like an alien just took control of her and is still learning the facial reaction aspect. Azusa is stressed out as this is all a lot. It feels like cramming the entire syllabus the night before exams. Azusa wakes up late the next morning. She rushes in panic and prepares for work. Finally ready, she braces herself for the day. Azusa arrives at work memorizing the points she learned from the book. As she steps out of the elevator, she sees Yu. Azusa is about to go ahead and put into practice the good tips she learned, but just then, she overhears some co-workers gossiping about her. They talk of how strict and difficult she is to to work with, pitying Yu. As she listens to this, her notepad falls to the floor, exposing the notes she had taken down from the book she read. Yu helps her pick it up, but sees the notes in the process. He apologizes, but looking at Azusa, he can, for a brief moment, see who she really is. Yu walks over to the gossiping co-workers. He mentions that he's happy and lucky to have Azusa as his mentor. This shuts the co-workers up, or maybe they just got scared as they noticed Azusa was right there. She thanks Yu for the defense, right after saying she won't thank him, and together, they leave. The next day, Azusa is doing a presentation for her clients while Yu watches keenly. After the meeting, they both see them off to the company's entrance and say goodbye. Azusa tells Yu that he's in charge of the project and instructs him to use her past work as a reference. As Azusa walks away, she decides that today will be the day she invites Yu for lunch. Later, Yu and Azusa meet in the rest area to test a client's game. Yu starts playing but admits it's kinda difficult, and Azusa tells him to hand it over. She's confident in her gaming skills since she worked as a part-time tester during college, and even now, she sacrifices her social life to play games. Yu gladly hands her the phone, but to Azusa's surprise, she sucks. She realizes that playing with a controller is very different from using a mobile device, yet she decides to try her best. Azusa keeps rocking from side to side like her body is the controller and eventually slips and falls. Bro doesn't even make an effort to catch her. He just stands there like, "You good?" This is so embarrassing for Azusa, but she wants to play it again, so Yu suggests they practice together in VS mode. After that, they return to work. It's almost lunchtime, and Azusa is determined to ask Yu out to eat this time, but as she turns to him, the words get stuck in her throat. Thankfully, he is too focused on his work to notice her weirdness. Azusa thinks to herself that it's not the right timing and continues working. A co-worker approaches her to ask for help, and when Yu turns to talk to her, he realizes she is gone. He finds her across the room helping someone else. IG calls her to handle another task too. Two colleagues invite Yu for lunch, and Azusa feels sad that he'll have his first lunch with others, but to her surprise, he declines, saying he brought his own lunch. They promise to invite him next time. Azusa feels relieved. When she returns to her desk, she contemplates inviting him but remembers he said he brought lunch. Since asking now would mean certain rejection, she wonders if she should invite him in advance, but figures it'd be weird. While Azusa's still overthinking, Yu brings out his instant noodles, ready to dig in, only to catch Azusa's mean stare. He apologizes and says he's on a budget, but Azusa won't have it. The perfect opportunity has presented itself. With that, she slowly stands from her chair and offers to treat him. Without waiting for a reply, Azusa starts heading for the door, but Yu calls out, refusing to let her pay since it's his responsibility. Azusa insists, saying if he shows up late to work due to poor health, the blame would be on her. Yu has no choice but to accept. They go to a restaurant, and Azusa is happy she finally did it. She remembers how well her mentor used to treat her when she was a newbie, teaching her the ins and outs of being a good junior, giving her napkins, and getting her drinks whenever they went out. Azusa wants to do same for Yu, but while she's lost in thought, Yu does these things for her. When Azusa opens her eyes to see this, she's a bit upset that he beat her to it. The waiter comes around and takes their orders. Yu gets a salad, which annoys Azusa, who tells him that since she's paying, she expected him to eat some meat, but Yu is too considerate and Azusa ends up giving him half her steak. As they begin eating, it hits Azusa that she planned to invite him for lunch but didn't think of what to say once they were there. Luckily, Yu starts the conversation by thanking her for the meal. Azusa asks why he's on a budget, then immediately panics, thinking to herself that she is doing too much. Yu doesn't mind and explains that he spent his money on an expensive model kit, so now he's cutting down on food. He calls himself a failed adult, but Azusa tells him it's fine for adults to enjoy things as long as it doesn't hurt their health. Yu promises to do better. Azusa realizes she's not one to talk since she also pulls all-nighters on new game release days, but she decides to try improving too. Later that night, Azusa plays the game again and feels like she's getting better. Soon, her stomach rumbles and she goes to get food. She realizes she's almost out of ingredients, so she settles for instant noodles. Azusa thinks to herself that she really has to do better since she's always nagging her junior about it. The next day, Azusa arrives at work tired because she stayed up late gaming, but at least she's confident she can answer any of Yu's questions. Meanwhile, Yu is working hard on his project. Azusa remembers how her mentor used to help her when she was a newbie, so she tells Yu to ask if he needs help, but he says he's fine. Azusa is shocked but returns to her seat. She keeps checking on him and even pretends to have something to do so she can pass behind him just to peek at his progress. Eventually, she reminds him again that he can come to her for help, but Yu reassures her he's fine. In the rest area, Azusa thinks about how well Yu is doing despite it being his first project. Her overthinking self blames it on her for not creating an atmosphere that makes him comfortable enough to ask questions. She then decides to invite him to lunch again and be more open this time, but as she walks back into the office, she overhears other colleagues asking Yu out for lunch. Azusa peeks in and hears him agree and suggests they also invite Azusa. The others tell him that Azusa never joins them for lunch or social events. Yu seems surprised. When Azusa hears them coming, she hides until they leave, sad that she's missed her chance again. While eating alone outside, Azusa thinks about how good Yu is that he doesn't even need her help. Then she starts overthinking that he probably thinks all the stuff she taught him is useless, considering that she has been embarrassing herself often in front of him. After work, Azusa says goodbye to Yu, who is planning to work late. But as she walks out, she considers that it might not be a good look to go back home while her junior is working overtime, so she heads back in. Yu senses someone around, but every time he turns, Azusa hides. She finally sneaks closer, but he already knows and asks why she came back. Azusa steps out and claims she remembered she had more work to do. When she sits down, she catches Yu staring at at her. Dude is probably concerned, but he quickly looks away and they both get back to work. As it gets late, Azusa tells Yu they should leave before they miss the last train, but Yu tells her to go ahead. He then confesses that when he read her proposal, he was moved by how perfect it was. He says he wanted to do his best not to disappoint her or become a burden, since she's always busy and others rely on her. Azusa is moved to tears and Yu offers her a tissue. She wipes her face and immediately reverts to her strict self, scolding him that pushing too hard will only cause trouble for those around him. Yu apologizes and thanks her for being considerate, even with lunch, adding that he knows she prefers to eat alone. Azusa insists that she wanted to eat with him. Realizing how that sounds, she blushes so hard she could be used as a crayon, then returns to her seat and tells Yu to work faster. Later, Azusa books a ride but notices Yu has fallen asleep. Trying to be caring, she covers him, but ends up almost suffocating the poor boy. The next day, Aiji tells Yu and Azusa about a drinking party to celebrate Yamaga, a colleague who is getting married, and Yu's employment. He puts Yu in charge of organizing the party and asks Azusa to assist him. Azusa agrees, but deep down, she knows she has no idea how to organize a party since her social life is basically Ohio. Eiji also tells them to get a gift for the new couple, which adds to Azusa's worries, while Yu seems excited. They visit a store together, and Azusa secretly browses for a suitable gift. Her introverted self has never attended a wedding and doesn't know what kind of gift to buy, but she wants to support Yu, so she begins searching. Azusa finds 2 matching mugs, and, as she admires one, Yu suddenly appears and startles her, causing her to drop and break it. A store attendant rushes over, but when Azusa offers to pay for it, the woman refuses. Since there are more in stock, Yu decides to buy a pair. Azusa tells him not to buy it because of her, but Yu says he's buying it for himself. Feeling embarrassed, Azusa decides to buy the next item and resumes searching like a maniac. She eventually figures out what to get, and they both leave. After finishing their shopping, Yu and Azusa take a break and get coffee. Azusa gets a black coffee and tells Yu it is improper to sweeten it, though she is only trying to copy her mentor. Unfortunately for her, the taste is too strong for her to handle and she lets out a small scream. Yu is concerned and brings her sugar and milk. After some time, Azusa suggests they hurry and find a venue to reserve since Golden Week is approaching. As they search online, Azusa wonders if there's a place Yu likes visiting. Realizing she doesn't know much about him, she asks if he enjoys drinking. After he tells her, Yu apologizes that she has to be involved in all this because of him. He knows she isn't very social, but Azusa assures him that it's okay and that she doesn't mind, as it's his welcome party. She adds that if a colleague ever invites him to a drinking party, he can decline if he doesn't feel like going. Yu agrees, but suddenly says he would like to go drinking with her. Azusa replies that there would be no point in drinking with him and immediately regrets rejecting him. The next day, as Azusa makes her way to the office, she feels relieved that they managed to make the reservation, but crashes out inside as she regrets turning Yu down, worrying that it will now be awkward to ever invite him out again. When she arrives at her desk, she finds the mug Yu bought sitting there. Confused, she asks him about it. Yu explains that he only needs 1 mug and that he noticed she liked this one the day before. He adds that it's a token of gratitude for her help yesterday. Azusa is speechless for a moment before telling him she'll use it as a toothbrush holder. During the drinking party, Azusa tries to socialize but keeps glancing over at Yu to see how he is doing. Eiji joins Yu and asks how he is getting along with Azusa, mentioning that newbies are usually scared of her. Yu replies that he is doing just fine and appreciates her as his mentor. Eiji then tries to force drinks on Yu, who tries to refuse. And suddenly, Azusa, who was still watching from across the room, appears behind them and takes the drink from Yu and downs it herself. Azusa joins them and is already getting tipsy but still tries to look out for Yu. When Eiji offers him more alcohol, she gives him water instead. This makes Eiji comment that if she keeps playing protector, Yu won't be able to enjoy himself. Azusa realizes that he is right and excuses herself to use the bathroom. After some time, Yu notices that she is taking too long and sees her squatting outside. When he goes to check on her, she apologizes, saying she's not feeling well and plans to head home. Yu offers to get her belongings, but the others inside won't let him leave, insisting he stay and spend more time with them. Yu agrees but says he needs to return Azusa's things first. Just then, Azusa calls out to him saying he has to work on a project. Yu is confused at first, but quickly plays along, and the others let him go, thinking it's a work emergency. On the way home, Azusa apologizes for making him leave, but Yu tells her it's fine since drinking parties aren't really his thing anyway. Since Azusa is drunk, Yu suggests they sit for a bit. Azusa then uses the moment to ask if she is a scary mentor, since he seemed nervous the whole time during the party and she assumes it was because he was scared of her. Yu explains he was only nervous because it was his first office drinking party, which makes Azusa feel relieved. She advises him to take deep breaths whenever he feels nervous. Yu tells her she isn't scary at all and that she has been very kind to him since the first time they met. He remembers how nervous he was during his interview and how Azusa approached him to offer tips on how to perform. She also advised him to take deep breaths if he felt anxious, which helped him a lot. As Azusa decides to take a stroll, Yu calls out to her, reminding her that he still wants to go drinking with her sometime. This time, Azusa agrees, saying there are many things she wants to teach and learn from him. She then stumbles, and Yu rushes to catch her, scolding her for drinking too much. The next day at work, Azusa scolds Yu for showing up without bathing. He apologizes, explaining that after putting her in a taxi the night before, he missed the last train and had to sleep at a friend's place. Azusa feels guilty for causing him trouble and apologizes. Her eyes then catch a lipstick stain on his shirt, and she suspects that the friend he stayed with might be his girlfriend, but she can't bring herself to ask. Luckily, a coworker comes over and bluntly asks the big question, though he doesn't wait for an answer and teases Yu about doing something naughty. As he walks away, Azusa contemplates whether to ask, as she feels it would would be overstepping into his private life but decides to anyway. Yu explains that the stain came from helping her into the taxi last night and then he tried to clean it but couldn't. Azusa turns red with embarrassment. For someone who always tries not to mess up, she's doing the exact opposite. She then tells Yu to get rid of the shirt and awkwardly struggles to help him take it off. In the middle of it, Eiji calls them over and tells them to go on a trip to Okinawa in his stead. They both board the plane and Azusa informs Yu that they'll be on a tight schedule, so he should be ready for anything. Yu promises to give it his best and her attention shifts to the beautiful ocean view outside. When they arrive at the airport, they meet up with the rest of the crew and carpool to the filming location together. The venue turns out to be the same pretty beach Azusa had admired from the plane and they get straight to work. Yu was in charge of recording everything and asks Azusa if they're allowed to film the model during breaks. She agrees since they had already discussed the behind-the-scenes content with the team beforehand. Yu then questions why Azusa is wearing a swimsuit, and she replies that the model, Nashiko, is wearing one too, and it would be rude not to. Yu points out that it's not the same thing since Nashiko's just doing her job. Azusa feels embarrassed, and Yu quickly apologizes. Just then, the wind seems to help Azusa out, and the model's hat flies into the water. Azusa sprints toward the ocean and retrieves the hat while Yu stands there, shocked. After she returns it, Yu hands her a towel and she tells him that it's a good thing she wore a swimsuit, to which he agrees and promises to wear one next time. Nashiko's manager then approaches them and thanks Azusa for her help during the shoot. He comments on how good Azusa's swimsuit looks on her and compliments her physique, which annoys Yu. As the dude reaches out to touch Azusa's arm, Yu suddenly interrupts, startling them both. He quickly suggests they go check on Nashiko during her break. The manager leaves and Azusa thanks Yu for stepping in. They move on to the next location and continue filming. Yu even has to follow Nashiko on a bike, and while she looks like she's having fun, he is clearly struggling. They take a bunch of other photos, Yu runs a few errands, and eventually evening falls. Yu sits down, looking exhausted, and Azusa brings him a drink. They watch the sunset together, and when Azusa tries to compliment him, she panics and instead tells him to finish his drink quickly before rushing off. Yu finds her reaction amusing. Later, the whole team gathers to have dinner and appreciate each other for a job well done. Soon after, when the musicians encourage everyone to try a local dance, Azusa hesitates, saying she would rather be publicly executed. Yu invites her to dance with him and starts moving like a zombie. Azusa decides to join him, since she feels she won't be a good mentor otherwise. They both suck, but everyone has fun. When their eyes meet again, Azusa smiles at Yu, and he instantly turns red. That night, after they return to their rooms, Yu remembers his moments with Azusa and wonders why he feels uneasy. Suddenly, there's a knock on his door. It's Azusa. She offers him sunscreen, saying he is sunburned. Yu notices it too, and admits he didn't use any, causing her to scold him for not wearing it when they're doing PR for sunscreen. He apologizes and promises to use it the next day. The next day, filming continues. They visit different locations to shoot, and eventually, they come to the end of the shoot. After they wrap up, Azusa thanks everyone for their hard work and announces that the rest of the afternoon is free. However, she is worried that Yu might not have anything to do. She considers inviting him out, but thinks it might seem inappropriate. Meanwhile, Yu is also wondering what Azusa will do with her free time. Once the others leave, Azusa thanks Yu for helping her and asks which cafe he had in mind. There are several options, and she chooses one, but they end up visiting more than one cafe. On their way back, Yu thanks Azusa for her support over the past 2 days. Azusa thinks to herself how Yu takes his work seriously. He never complained, even though it must have been tough. She wonders if he enjoyed himself at all. Azusa then thanks Yu for doing a good job as well. As they approach, a teammate calls them over and informs them that there is only one room reserved. They try to find a way out, and Azusa is convinced that she asked for 2 rooms, but it turns out Tama had mistakenly reserved 1 room with twin beds. Since there is nothing that can be done, Azusa and Yu are left to share a room despite how terrifying it is for both of them. Azusa tells Yu they should put their stuff away and have a bath first, and then they can figure things out. While Azusa is having her bath, she feels anxious about sharing a room with Yu. She knows he must be nervous too and briefly considers finding another hotel, but everything is likely booked out since it's Golden Week. She also remembers that when she was a newbie she had to share a room with her mentor too. Seems like history is repeating itself, but this time, it feels more like a romantic setup. Azusa wonders if it's weird to be worried about this and reminds herself that they're just colleagues. When she returns to the room, Azusa finds Yu packing his belongings. He informs her that he plans to find somewhere else to stay, assuming she wouldn't be comfortable with him there. Azusa tries to persuade him to stay, but Bro is determined to leave. In an effort to change his mind, she challenges him to a game. Yu is hesitant at first, but eventually agrees. They start playing, and Yu keeps winning. Azusa accuses him of cheating, so he has to show her how to use a feature she didn't know existed to help her play better. Since he is close to her, his face turns red. Azusa assumes it's sunburn and asks if he used the sunscreen she gave him. Yu excuses himself, saying he wants to get more drinks. On his way, he wonders why he is reacting that way and feels bad for making Azusa worry about him. When he returns, he finds her sleeping, or so it seems. Suddenly, she jumps up, scolding him for taking too long and declares she won't sleep until she wins. The next morning, both of them are late for their flight and have to run because they stayed up gaming. She has successfully initiated him into late-night gaming. So much for being a good mentor. A typhoon is incoming, and it has been announced that conditions outdoors won't be favorable. Going out would mean you're trying to be on an episode of a 100 Ways to Die. But Azusa has work to do at the office, so she'll have to go outside regardless. Just then, the thought that she'll have to make Yu come to work regardless of the weather hits her. It can't be helped. For a brief moment, she remembers their trip and how they shared a room. Just before waking waking up to reality. She sets her mind to it, prepares extremely for the weather like it's a zombie apocalypse, and finally heads out for work. Unfortunately, she leaves her umbrella behind. Arriving at work, Azusa finds no one. They were all smart enough to work from home. Just then, Yu arrives, startling Azusa. It dawns on her that she'll be with Yu alone in the office. Azusa points out that they have to work quickly to finish up and leave before the typhoon is upon them, and Yu agrees. Azusa feels tense as they start work. The usually busy place now has just the two of them. They have to get to a meeting, but it's raining, exactly when Azusa's umbrella would have come in handy. As she mentions that she forgot it, Yu hands her his. She's reluctant as she wouldn't want him walking in the rain either, but fortunately, Yu came with an extra. The rain is really heavy, and the winds make Yu's umbrella look like papercraft. He refuses Azusa's offer to cover him with the umbrella she's with, insisting he'll manage. But it's clear that Yu's backup umbrella wouldn't even withstand a splash of water, and finally they share the first umbrella. Together they struggle through the rain, staying close and pushing forward. Azusa hasn't stayed that close to Yu before. They finally make it to their meeting, and their clients commend them for the effort they've put in showing up despite the conditions outdoors. During the meeting, Azusa reflects on how well Yu is performing, whereas she couldn't remember to take her umbrella. She resolves to at least ensure their work finishes quickly so they can head home early. They hurry back to the office as the meeting ends, both soaked in the rain. On arriving, Azusa immediately puts a towel on Yu's head and cleans it like a bowling ball. He appreciates the kind gesture. Yu takes off and hangs his jacket. While he goes to make them some tea, Azusa notices his jacket isn't properly hung and tries to adjust it. As she picks it up, she notices how big it actually is, and for some reason, she puts it on. Yu walks in to see her in it. What could possibly be more embarrassing? The typhoon seems to be coming close, and Yu is a bit restless. Azusa jokes that he's childish, and Yu reminds her that she wore his jacket and was literally playing in it. This hits Azusa like a cannonball. The sound of thunder disrupts their conversation, and Azusa is so startled that she takes cover at a corner. Noticing Azusa is scared of lightning, Yu tries to assure her that if Zeus tried messing with them, the lightning would hit the building's lightning rod, and not her. Even so, Azusa isn't cool. Seeing as that didn't work, Yu suggests they play a game. They have fun playing the game, and in no time, Azusa forgets about her fears. The lightning eventually stops and they head back to continue work. After working for a while, Azusa asks Yu to wrap up and head home before it's too late. She mentions that she has to finish up everything she has to do in the office, since she'll be working from home the following day. Yu wants to lend a hand and insists, asking if there's anything he can help out with. Azusa finally agrees, gives him a little task, and asks him to leave it on her desk when he's done. She leaves for an online meeting, wondering how Yu is such a kind creature. Yu, for whatever reason, goes into another section of the office where he meets an acquaintance, a senior colleague, Shun. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, Shun asks Yu to help him out with some work. It appears Yu won't be leaving anytime soon. After Azusa ends her meeting, she heaves a sigh of relief. It's pretty late, and she wonders if the trains are still running. At least she made Yu go home early, or so she'd like to believe. When she heads back to her desk, she's surprised to see Yu still happily working. She crashes out and asks him to pack up and leave with her, but Yu mentions that he has to stay a bit longer. He explains that Shun needed some help and mentions that he owes Shun a great deal for helping him, and blah blah blah. Azusa doesn't wait to hear all this. She's pissed and marches her way to Shun. She's like, "Alright Shun, put those hands up," and about to serve it like prime Mike Tyson. She scolds Shun for leaving his work for her precious junior and making him work overtime. Azusa tells Shun to do his job on his own, right before marching out angrily. Shun really didn't mean it that way and apologizes, and Yu says it's fine. When Yu meets up with Azusa, he thanks her for standing up for him. Azusa advises Yu to simply say no in case of next time. She smiles, however, showing she isn't pissed at him. They're about to head out, but the winds are still really strong. Waiting behind isn't a wise option, and Yu suggests they share an umbrella, the good one. He assures her that he's capable of handling the task, noting that even though he is her junior, he is still a man. He doesn't intend for his words to come across in any strange way. Together, they head out into the rain, and Yu pushes himself with every bit of effort he can muster. He is doing his best, and Azusa sees this. However, the wind remains quite strong. They decide to stay close together as they continue to make their way through it. Eventually, they got on a train. Until that day, neither of them realized they usually took the same one, heading in the same direction. Azusa always finishes work later. When the train stops, Yu hands her his umbrella, the good one of course. He lives close to the station, so he'll be home soon anyway. Azusa accepts it and offers him a bag in return. Not that it helps much, but still. Later, at home, she thinks about it all and feels quite grateful she'll be working from home the next day. She wouldn't have known how to face him. Azusa arrives at work determined to ask Yu out for drinks, and she also practices how to properly thank him for his umbrella. As she approaches, she overhears Yu chatting with another newbie, Miho. She sneaks a peek and immediately feels jealous but scolds herself, reminding herself to be happy that he is getting along with others like a mature adult should. They are talking about going to a fireworks festival, and Azusa feels disappointed, deciding she will just invite him to lunch next time instead. When she peeks again, she sees other coworkers showing interest in joining the festival too. For some reason, this annoys her. She doesn't like them butting into Yu and Miho's conversation. Yu, though nervous, agrees to go, and Miho does too. But that doesn't sit right with Azusa, especially since they mention wanting to get to know each other more. So she decides to pull a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man move and jump in to rescue the interns by showing interest in joining as well. This comes as a shock to everyone. I mean, imagine the quiet kid suddenly wants to be involved. It's sus, so the others make up an excuse and back out. Mission accomplished. Advantages of being an outcast, I guess. Azusa then tells Yu and Miho that she is backing out as well, telling them to go ahead and enjoy themselves. It's her way of giving them some alone time. time. But when Yu and Miho exchange surprised looks, Azusa begins to wonder, what if they actually wanted to go with the others? Did she just ruin their plans? She immediately starts overthinking, feeling she might have misunderstood the situation and should have just minded her business. Luckily, they invite her to join them again. When they sit down to talk, Miho introduces herself. She is from another department and started at the same time Yu did. She explains that she won seated tickets for the festival and they decided to go with other new hires. Azusa realizes it wasn't just Yu and Miho who were going, and now she has awkwardly inserted herself into a group of 6 juniors. She tries to back out again, but Miho insists it's fine, saying she has actually been wanting to talk to her and is looking forward to it. Yu feels a bit freaked out seeing how well the two of them are getting along. Later that night, Azusa worries about what to wear and decides on a yukata, as that's what people typically wear to a festival. She remembers that her mom once bought her a yukata that she never got to wear, so she decides to call her. The moment her mom picks up, she doesn't let Azusa get a word in, bombarding her with questions and trying to catch up on what has been happening in her life. Finally, Azusa gets the opportunity to ask her mom for a picture of the yukata. When her mom sends it, Azusa finds it too cute and decides to buy a new one. The next day, Azusa visits a store, but she doesn't really know what to choose. When a store attendant approaches to help, Azusa coldly brushes her off, which makes her feel guilty afterward. After looking around for some time, she spots a turtle design yukata that reminds her of Yu. As she realizes herself, she panics and chooses a random yukata. When Azusa gets home, she starts browsing for videos on how to put on a yukata, but she is unable to follow the tutorial and fails. The next day at work, Azusa calls Miho from her desk and they meet in the break room. Azusa shares her plan to wear a yukata and Miho immediately decides to wear hers as well. She admits that she hesitated at first because she thought she would be the only one wearing it. However, now that Azusa is wearing hers, Miho feels encouraged to do the same. Azusa asks how Miho plans to put on her yukata, and Miho explains that salons can assist with that, but she will be following an online tutorial. Azusa silently decides that she will go to a salon instead. As Miho heads back, she bumps into Yu and tells him to look forward to seeing Azusa in a yukata. On the festival day, everyone gathers at the station to wait for Azusa. The other newcomers are excited to meet her, having heard so much about her. They are impressed that you can be friendly and spend time with someone like her. Yu tries to defend Azusa, but Miho interrupts him, announcing that Azusa has finally arrived. Even though Yu expected it, he is still stunned to see Azusa in her yukata. She apologizes for making them wait and introduces herself just as she had practiced. Yu is completely lost, and Miho has to snap him back to reality before he introduces the other newcomers. But he fumbles his words, which makes everyone laugh. They head straight to the festival, and Miho suggests they grab some snacks since there's still time before the fireworks start. Since they're a large group, they split up, with Azusa, Yu, and Miho together. They decide to get food, and Azusa insists on paying for them by giving them her purse, stating that since they invited her out, it's the least she can do. After some persuasion, they agree and leave to buy food. When they return, everyone tries the food despite the heat. They encourage Azusa to give it a try, but it turns out to be too hot for her. As a result, they have to find something to cool down her mouth. After that, she just settles for cotton candy while the others try out other foods. Azusa discovers a new side of Yu based on his interaction with Miho, and she feels sad that he doesn't behave that way with her. When they stop by a shooting game, both Yu and Miho decide to win a prize for Azusa. However, while they are playing, Azusa quietly slips away. She cannot bring herself to be part of their world. As she walks away, she starts questioning why she is feeling this way. She decides to just wander around and lie that she got lost. When they regroup, her get-a-strap suddenly breaks, bringing her back to reality. Azusa realizes she is really lost. She finds a place to sit and rest for a while. As if things couldn't get any worse, her phone dies soon after. Azusa accepts her fate. She is used to being alone and has spent most of her life doing things alone, but this time, the loneliness hits differently. She reminds herself that Yu is just her junior and there's no need to get too close. Just then, Miho calls out to Azusa, finally finding her. She explains that she searched everywhere for her and was worried that she had suddenly disappeared. After learning about Azusa's situation, Miho calls Yu to inform him of their location. She also tells Azusa that Yu was worried and had been looking for her. Azusa apologizes for the trouble, but Miho reassures her that it's fine and that she feels honored to have the opportunity to talk to her. Azusa asks Miho what she means, and Miho explains that Yu has been saying many nice things about her and that he really respects her. However, Miho has also heard some scary things about Azusa, and since she believes Yu more, she wanted to see for herself. Just then, Yu arrives, out of breath, saying how worried he was. Miho stops him from scolding Azusa and says that the fireworks are about to start, but Azusa can't join them because of her shoe situation. Yu immediately swings into action and searches for a temporary fix. He manages to get a coin from her and uses a handkerchief to repair it, impressing both girls. They then head back to the festival, and Miho, eager to see the fireworks, hurriedly drags Azusa along. Yu is worried that Azusa's shoe strap might break again and warns Miho to be careful, but Azusa reaches out and grabs his hand, pulling him along. This moment feels magical for Yu. They finally reach their spot, and Miho runs off to buy drinks. Azusa lets go of Yu's hand, and he apologizes for being harsh earlier without knowing her shoe situation. As the fireworks light up the sky, Azusa quietly wonders if she would have been brave enough to tell Yu how she feels if she were his colleague and not his mentor. Having spent a lot of time with Azusa, Yu observes that her dialect slips out whenever she's upset. He mentions this to a coworker, but it seems as though he's the only one who noticed it. Yu gets frustrated by his parents' constant texting during his work hours. Azusa mentions that it's childish to crash out because his parents reach out to him. She allows him to respond, and as he opens the texts, parents. Azusa's eyes catch the nickname Yu's parents call him. She finds it funny and teases Yu, who's feeling really embarrassed. As Yu talks about his parents, it reminds Azusa of hers. She heads out to buy some groceries to restock her house, since her parents wouldn't want to see her live the way she does, relying on meals from outside instead of actually cooking for herself. Azusa is out when she realizes she can buy and eat whatever she wants. One of the advantages of staying alone. She heads into the mart with that in mind, but comes across Yu. Now her plan is ruined as she fears Yu will discover she doesn't cook. A couple is shopping nearby, and as they see this, Yu gets all red thinking of the fact that he and Azusa actually look like a couple. Azusa asks if there are times when Yu wishes he had a girlfriend who could cook, and immediately regrets asking that. Whatever the dude says, he has ruined Azusa's meal plan, and now she has to play along and buy some veggies, like she'll be able to cook with them. The next day at work, Azusa shows up with her hands like they went through World War III. Yu wonders what happened. It's obvious her attempt at being a chef took a heavy toll on her fingers. She lies that they're paper cuts. Just then, her phone rings. It's her mom. Azusa is about to crash out, but remembers what she told Yu. She gives Yu some instructions and then excuses herself and manages to stay calm throughout the call. Her mom randomly asks if she's dating anyone. She mentions that she could consider an arranged marriage. On hearing this, Azusa instinctively says she has a boyfriend, pointing out that there's no need for the arranged marriage option. Azusa ends the call to find Yu standing there. He definitely heard the boyfriend part and he apologizes for eavesdropping. He brings up that her instruction wasn't clear as her dialect slipped out. So basically what she said to him meant something else. Azusa is embarrassed. She has always tried not to let it slip out, and until her slip-ups with Yu, she has been successful. Azusa asks Yu to tell her immediately the next time she says something wrong, and he accepts. Just then, Azusa's mom calls again. She informs Azusa that she's at her house, mentioning that she'd love to eat out with her and her boyfriend. Azusa is so stunned she can only squeal like a pig, bench pressing to its limits. Yu wonders what's wrong, and Azusa mentions that her mom wants to have dinner with her and her boyfriend. Yu doesn't see the issue there until Azusa mentions that she doesn't actually have a boyfriend. Yu is low-key relieved. He volunteers to pretend to be her boyfriend. Although surprised, Azusa accepts that. After work, they prepare ahead of this. They get to know each other, and also get their stories straight, getting ready for any question Azusa's mother asks. As they discuss, they discover they have the same hobby, gaming, and they happily talk about this. It's finally time for dinner, and Yu and Azusa sit, waiting for Azusa's mom. When Azusa's mom finally shows up, Yu is stunned. It's almost as if she were stuck in ice. He wonders if she's Azusa's sister or even her cousin. After formally introducing himself to Azusa's mom, they begin dinner. Azusa's mom is upbeat and quite friendly. She shares a bunch of embarrassing moments about Azusa before bluntly asking what Yu likes best about Azusa. They didn't plan this, and Azusa panics as she feels Yu won't be able to answer it. Yu stutters and even slips up, referring to Azusa as senpai. Just then, Azusa receives a call and excuses herself to take it. While she is gone, Azusa's mom expresses her worry for Azusa, wondering if Yu has any extra low-key motives, but Yu assures her he doesn't. Given the type of person Azusa is, introverted, and with zero communication skills, her mom's reaction is only natural. Azusa's mom reveals that when Azusa was little, she was made head of the class because of her good grades. She had put in her all. One day, during sports, a classmate got injured. Azusa blamed herself for not seeing to it that everything turned out perfectly, and because of this, she angrily yelled at everyone to calm down. From that day, everyone around her was afraid of her. Azusa's mom explains that Azusa is truly kind and asks Yu to tolerate her excesses and not hate her. Yu points out that he doesn't hate Azusa, even a bit. He explains that despite the downsides, like her harsh words and stuff, it's only to help him not mess anything up. He adds that she also praises him whenever he does something right. The bottom line is, he sees that she's truly a kind person. Bro poured out his heart so badly that he stepped out of the boyfriend act, addressing Azusa as senpai more clearly. At the end of the day, Azusa's mom says she had a good time, after revealing that she knows Yu isn't truly Azusa's boyfriend. Oh my, I wonder what gave it away. However, she mentions that she's happy to know Azusa has someone genuine by her side. Yu mentions that he needs to be better at his job, mentioning that he couldn't even understand Azusa's dialect earlier that day. This surprises Azusa's mom, and she reveals to him that Azusa only uses her dialect around people she trusts. Yu is surprised as well, learning this. Azusa finally finds a taxi, and her mom says goodbye to Yu and takes her leave. The next day, Azusa treats Yu to a meal, thanking him for the boyfriend assist thing. As they discuss, Azusa wonders what Yu discussed with her mom, as her mom kept trying to dig up information about Yu on their way home after dinner. Yu briefly recalls it and tells Azusa that it isn't anything much. Azusa can tell Yu isn't being truthful, and Yu claims it's a secret. Azusa is losing it, and Yu just tries changing the discussion topic. A few days later, Azusa goes to inspect the cafe Yu booked for their game launch. Everything is perfect. Well, maybe not everything, because she soon realizes Yu hasn't gotten the merch yet, and it's set to be delivered early the next day, which also happens to be the launch day. Azusa is a bit disappointed, but doesn't say anything. Yu then shows her the staff outfit, which is a maid costume, and Azusa becomes lost in thought, wondering if Yu likes those kinds of clothes. She snaps out of it and tells him it's great, saying she looks forward to the next day. The next day at work, Azusa is waiting for the elevator when she runs into Miho, who asks where she is heading. Azusa tells her that she is going to use job site, the cafe, and Miho offers to follow her. On the way, Azusa tells Miho all about the project and how Yu has been in charge since the planning phase. Miho senses her excitement and points it out, but Azusa denies it, saying she's just curious to see the results. But the way she's practically speedwalking toward the cafe says something else. Miho then praises her for being a mentor or who cares, adding that Yu has been happy lately. When they arrive at the cafe, a long line is already waiting outside, and even though there's still some time left before the store opens, Azusa is eager to go in, claiming she's there for motivation and also in case things don't go as planned. She and Miho enter through the back door and see Yu getting scolded by the client because he still isn't done with setting up. Azusa and Miho step in to help him after the man leaves. Yu thanks them and explains that the package just arrived a moment ago due to a delay. Azusa knows it's not entirely his fault but blames him for scheduling things too tightly. When Yu apologizes, Azusa apologizes as well for not checking. As they continue working, Azusa silently blames herself for not calling him out the previous day when he told her about the early delivery. The man returns and tells Yu that 3 of their part-timers have called out, and now they're short-staffed. Azusa promises to call a few event companies she has worked with before for assistance. Yu apologizes again, but Azusa says it isn't his fault. When the others resume working, Azusa thinks to herself that she has to do something to help. Meanwhile, the customers are still waiting to be let in. Yu notices Azusa is missing when he tries to tell her that more help will arrive later in the afternoon. They look around for her, only for her to show up in a maid outfit. When Yu sees her, he is speechless for a moment, like someone whose brain just got hit with a math question it didn't study for. Before asking why she's wearing it, Azusa explains that she needs to step up since they're short-staffed. She yells at him to get back to work and immediately scolds herself for sounding rude. So in an attempt to be nicer, she drags him by his tie and pats his head before walking off. The cafe finally opens and the maids get to work. Azusa is awkward and doesn't know what to do. In an attempt to be cute, she ends up spilling an entire bottle of ketchup into a customer's food, but luckily, he is a nice person and laughs it off. She also awkwardly plays rock, paper, scissors with a couple and fails. For the rest of her shift, she is so clumsy and keeps knocking things over. Azusa spots Miho acting the part very well and feels down, realizing she is not fit for this kind of work. She scolds herself and becomes even more determined to make Yu's first job a success. As she turns to walk away, another maid approaches her for a favor. Meanwhile, Yu and Miho talk during the break. He thanks her for helping out and voices his concerns about Azusa. He can tell she's struggling, but Miho makes him realize she's doing all this because she cares about him. The race event begins, and Yu and Miho hurry down to watch. The maids start dancing, and Azusa, well, she's terrible most of the time. She eventually runs out of energy, and Miho rushes in to cover for her and takes her spot, but she doesn't even know the dance and just performs her own routine. Azusa joins again, but when she spots Yu in the crowd, she suddenly becomes shy. The session eventually ends, and the maids take to the streets to hand out flyers. Azusa tries her best, but people dodge her flyers with the same reflexes they use to avoid someone asking for donations. Yu then comes around with a towel and water, telling her to take a break and let the others handle it. Azusa interprets this to mean that he doesn't believe she can do it, so she tries to prove him wrong, but still fails to hand out a single flyer. She sees the other girls doing so well, and decides to give in and take a break. As Yu and Azusa rest behind the building, she tells him about her struggles and how she can't perform as well as the others. Yu tries to encourage her, saying the event is successful because of her. Azusa knows he's just trying to cheer her up, so Yu begins to tell her all the things he is not good at and his flaws. Azusa is happy to find out his more human side and feels better. She tells him they should head back, saying she needs to make up for her excesses. As soon as they step inside, they see Miho moving weird. She is trying to reenact a scene for a customer, but isn't quite getting it right. Azusa assumes the customer is trying to do something naughty with Miho and confronts him, acting all scary. Coincidentally, that is exactly what the customer wanted, and he thanks her excitedly and even orders more food. Azusa is confused. The event continues smoothly afterward, but Yu still apologizes to the client, who tells him everything is fine and praises the maid service. As Azusa and Yu head out, he thanks her for her help. Azusa says they should go home, but before that, she asks about the customer earlier. Yu explains that her maid character is supposed to be a strict one, pointing to the character beside them. Azusa tries imitating it, and Yu admits they look a little similar, but says she seems more like a master than a maid. To him, she's a senior who always takes care of him, and she doesn't seem like someone who would call another person master. Just then, Miho shows up and suggests they get a drink. She drags Azusa away, and as they are leaving, Azusa tells Yu to come along and calls him master, surprising both him and Miho. Azusa immediately gets embarrassed and rushes out. Azusa and Yu step out of the office. The weather is pretty cold, and Azusa feels like she's in the Ice Age. Yu thinks of ways to help her out, and finally decides to lend her his jacket. They walk off, and Ritsu watches them, unnoticed. At a mall, Azusa picks up interest in the winter outfits for sale, but she hesitates, wondering whether or not to buy them in person or online. Just then, Yu comes across her. Azusa is shocked and wonders what Yu is doing there. After explaining himself, Yu asks her the same question. Azusa mentions that she wanted to buy some clothes. Yu observes that she's troubled, and he figures out it's because the employees keep interrupting the buyers. Azusa wants to examine the clothes without being interrupted. Yu understands the assignment, and he helps her keep the employees away while she takes her time with the clothes. Azusa decides to try them on. For each cloth she tries on, Yu's opinion is positive. She asks which of the clothes looks the best, and Yu responds that they all suit her. He immediately regrets this, feeling like it may seem like he doesn't care. However, Azusa is excited to hear this and hurriedly purchases the clothes. After everything, Azusa thanks Yu for the company. She apologizes for making him stick around, but he's fine with it. They finally bid each other goodbye and leave. Just then, another girl calls out to Yu and clings to him. Azusa just stares in surprise as Yu and the girl walk away. At work, Azusa is feeling down, still thinking of what happened. Ritsu comes around, inquiring to know what the issue is. Just then, Miho comes around. She seems to be a big fan of Ritsu's work. After exchanging pleasantries with Miho, Ritsu mentions that in the past, Azusa would never show such a depressing emotion as the one he caught her in. Azusa tries to deny it, claiming there's nothing wrong. Miho speculates that it has something to do with Yu, and when Ritsu hears this, he suggests they go talk to Yu instead. Azusa pleads with them, finally promising to tell them herself. After she spills everything, Miho assures her that the random girl isn't Yu's girlfriend. She believes she would have known. Ritsu taunts Azusa for being bothered by it, and she tries to explain, defending herself that it's only because Yu is her junior. He's important. Miho takes the opportunity to invite Azusa to come with her to a spa. Azusa agrees as she'll be free anyway. Miho is excited and immediately texts Yu about it. Ritsu and Azusa have some time alone, and he mentions that it's been a while since they last hung out like this. He says it started to seem like Azusa abandoned her peers for a junior. Azusa didn't mean for things to seem that way. As they discuss, Yu comes across them. He watches from a distance as Azusa laughs. It sure seems like she's having a great time. He simply walks away like a kid who just popped his balloon. Just then, he suddenly switches up and rushes back. He encounters Ritsu on his way. After reading Yu's name, Ritsu can tell he's the one. He refers to Yu as Azusa's favorite, and Yu is confused. He asks Yu to take care of Azusa, and adds that he'll be joining them at the spa. Yu is pretty much speechless. The day of the spa arrives and they all meet up. Ritsu continues his conversation with Yu. He baits Yu into admitting that Azusa is cute. Yu freaks out, of course, but he can't deny the fact. After examining him for a while, Ritsu believes Yu and Azusa are quite similar. He immediately rats Yu out, telling Azusa that Yu says she's pretty. Yu is dying right now, and he struggles with the awkwardness. Azusa thanks him for the compliment while Ritsu continues to taunt him. At the spa, they go their separate ways, of course. It's not a mixed gender thing. Azusa and Miho get into a sauna. They try to relax and clear their minds, but just as Azusa tries to do this, she remembers the random girl Yu was with. She keeps trying but can't seem to get it out of her mind. She gives up, asking Miho for an alternative to clear her mind. Meanwhile, Yu finds himself thinking about Azusa and Ritsu. He overthinks everything but finally shakes it off his mind. He's just a junior after all, it's none of his business. Azusa receives a pretty hard massage to get her out of her head. She requests that the pressure be increased, and she focuses on the pain. Wild stuff. She later spends some time in a bath. Miho asks if the massage was able to clear her mind, and she affirms. From the look of things, Miho believes Azusa is still disturbed about the girl she saw with Yu, although Azusa tries to deny it. She finally admits that she can't just get it off her mind. Miho advises Azusa to just ask Yu directly, get it off her chest. This wouldn't be easy for her. Later on, Azusa meets Yu. They take a walk together, and it's so awkward at first that they're basically just marching down instead of strolling. The tension grows even stronger when Azusa trips and Yu catches her. They both attempt to say their mind at the same time, but their timing clashes. With neither of them able to speak up, they end their walk. Ritsu watches them from a distance and has a plan. Ritsu makes the first move, talking to Yu. He mentions that he's close to Azusa, and he believes this bothers Yu. But surprisingly, Yu claims he's glad, as not often do people tend to understand and cope with Azusa. Ritsu admits that Yu is truly a good junior. Bro really emphasized the term junior. He tells Yu that he wants to get closer to Azusa. That is, more than just work peers. Yu just quietly takes it in. Later on, they all gather for drinks. Yu and Azusa are drinking way too much sake, and they get drunk. In this state, their mouths start running. Azusa gets overprotective of Yu, calling him her precious junior. The word gets Yu pissed and he speaks up, saying that he doesn't want to be her junior forever. Ritsu and Miho are excited to finally see them go all out, but things get too intense as Azusa starts crying over what Yu said. After some time, Ritsu and Miho successfully get them sober a bit and leave them to each other. Ritsu later reveals to Yu that he only wanted to know how Yu truly felt for Azusa, and apologizes for taking things a bit too far. He doesn't have a thing for Azusa, he's just her friend. Yu is stunned to learn this. The next workday, Yu is absent, and everyone wonders why he hasn't shown up yet. It's strange considering he's always punctual. Just then, Azusa gets a text from him. He explains that he's sick and won't be able to come in yet. He mentions that he went to see a doctor and reassures her that he'll be available just in time for their scheduled meeting. Azusa just wants him to rest and not push himself. At lunch, Riho and Ritsu, who are now best friends after their spa adventure, meet Azusa. When they hear about Yu's situation, they suggest she visit him. Azusa is way too nervous for that and says she doesn't even know where he lives. Nonsense. Riho immediately dismisses that excuse, claiming she knows Yu's address and can guide her. Azusa also brings up the possibility of Yu's girlfriend visiting, but Riho assures her that's unlikely. After just enough teasing, Azusa has no choice but to prove she genuinely cares about her junior by going to see him. She arrives at Yu's house planning only to drop off groceries, but she runs into a girl at the entrance. It's the same girl she saw with Yu at the supermarket. Turns out Azusa was wrong about her after all. She's actually Yu's younger sister. Yu's sister immediately asks if Azusa is Yu's girlfriend, throwing Azusa into full panic mode. Yu comes to the door and is shocked to see Azusa there. He instantly bolts back inside, becomes Barry Allen, and desperately tries to make the house look presentable. He returns to welcome her in, clearly tense. Inside, Yu's sister Yuki introduces herself. Her introduction goes smoothly, but Azusa's is a disaster. She fidgets, introduces herself nervously, and even hands Yuki her business card like she's on official duty. Yuki explains that she's a college student and stops by to visit Yu from time to time. Yu stays on edge, and Yuki doesn't help, teasing him about having a pretty mentor over. He offers Azusa a seat and asks what she'd like to drink, acting like a waiter in some fancy 5-star restaurant. Azusa points out that he's sick and should be resting, but Yu insists he's feeling better better and that the doctor's report was positive. Meanwhile, Yuki decides to cook with the groceries Azusa brought. When she starts, Azusa volunteers to help. Not the best idea, considering the last time she tried cooking, she almost chopped off her fingers. Yu panics, but to his surprise, Azusa handles it well this time. She casually mentions that she practiced and instantly regrets admitting it. Once the meal is done, they all sit down. Azusa tries to avoid joining them at first, but after some convincing, she gives in. She ends up sitting on the couch awkwardly close to Yu. He tastes the food and immediately enjoys the part Azusa made. Yuki doesn't hesitate to tease him, saying he'll cry since he apparently cries a lot, like that one time he got emotional during a game. After chatting for a while, Yuki asks Azusa if she wants to see Yu's photo albums. Azusa is fine with it, though Yu tries to object as he feels Azusa wouldn't be interested. He's probably just embarrassed. Yuki brings the albums and they start flipping through them. At one point, Azusa slips up and comments that Yu was cute as a child as well, basically implying he still is. The realization hits her immediately, and she goes into awkward mode again. A bit later, Yuki excuses herself, leaving Yu and Azusa alone. An awkward silence hangs for a moment before Yu finally speaks, saying he enjoyed their spa trip. He apologizes if she felt forced to go, but Azusa tells him she had fun. She adds that even Riho enjoyed it and is open to going again. Yu admits he's surprised, considering he got drunk and turned into a complete weirdo. Well, that makes two of them, since Azusa did the same. Remembering it all makes her want to explode from embarrassment. Overwhelmed, she claims that it was Yu's fault she felt so weird. She reveals everything about the supermarket incident and how she thought Yuki was his girlfriend. Like always, she immediately regrets letting that slip out. Yu stops for a moment and asks why she, his senpai, would be worried if he had a girlfriend. Azusa doesn't know what to say. Yu nervously apologizes for such a forward question. He assumes she was just worried for him as a senior and heads over to make some coffee. After the coffee is prepared, they both sit. The cups remind Azusa of the cup incident, where she mistakenly broke them and Yu took the fall for it. She thanks Yu for helping her, as she hadn't really thanked him back then. She admits she's terrible at interacting with people, and that having others be scared of her has always made life easier, since it meant fewer social interactions. Meeting Yu made her realize she didn't have to keep living that way. She tried to find ways to get better at relating to him, but nothing ever came out right. Yu understands and tells her she tried her best. Azusa apologizes for talking about herself, but Yu is fine with it. He almost slips up, saying that he wants to know more about her, but he interrupts it with a cough. Azusa wants him to get some rest as he must be exhausted, and she insists. He finally gets in bed and Azusa sees to it. She jokes about singing him a lullaby and Yu actually wants in. This year's Cringe Award, ladies and gentlemen, goes to this scene. Azusa does make her way to his bedside and really utters words. She sings to him for a while before finally ending it, thanks to the awkwardness and the fact that Yu is taking 2 business weeks to fall asleep. She hurries to go arrange some stuff out of embarrassment. Yu finally falls asleep and Azusa sits by him. She watches him as he sleeps, holding his hands. Eventually, she sleeps off too. Later, Yu wakes up to see her sleeping by his side, with their hands locked together. Just then, Azusa's phone rings and she wakes up. She immediately starts apologizing as she came to look after him but ended up sleeping instead. However, Yu thanks her. She had arranged his room, and on top of that, he mentions that he was able to sleep well because she held his hand. Caught in the moment, Azusa finally manages to speak up. She admits her curiosity about Yu, and Yu responds that he wants to learn everything about her as well. He asks if they can be friends, and Azusa agrees without hesitation. As friends, they can hang out casually and avoid formality. This sounds great to them both. During lunch the next day, Azusa is texting with Yu and being all smiley until Ritsu and Miho interrupt her, teasing her about getting along with Yu. They join her, and she admits she's not sure if she's being a good friend since Yu is the first friend she has ever had. Ritsu and Miho find this funny, then remind her that Yu's birthday is next month. Azusa wants to celebrate it, but she doesn't know what to do since she has never celebrated someone's birthday before. Ritsu suggests celebrating it during the company's group birthday party, which is held at the beginning of each month for people born in that month. It sounds good to Azusa, but she is immediately faced with another issue. What kind of gift to give him? In the elevator, Ritsu and Miho talk about Azusa and Yu's new friendship. They both know that Yu and Azusa like each other, but neither is aware of the other's feelings. The next day, Azusa meets Yu to remind him about the group birthday party, and he says he plans to attend. She also invites him to lunch, saying she wants to ask him something. Yu gladly agrees. During lunch, Azusa is being all awkward, and when Yu reminds her of what she wanted to ask, she requests his advice on what kinds of gifts men like to receive from women, claiming she is asking for her cousin's friend's little sister's neighbor's big sister. Wow, bro really tried to shift the suspicion as far as possible. Yu has no idea, so she asks what type of gift he would like. He admits he would like a pair of gloves since it has gotten colder. Not a PS5? Bro just missed his chance. Azusa is surprised. Same sis, same. She doesn't know his size, but suddenly remembers that night and immediately gets embarrassed. Later, she goes with Ritsu to buy the gloves. There are so many options and she struggles to choose. Ritsu suggests asking an employee for help, but Azusa refuses, wanting to do this on her own. She is just scared she might choose something weird since this is her first time buying someone a gift. This fear comes from the trauma she got when she was a kid, when she overheard a classmate whose birthday was soon say they didn't want to invite her to their party because they were sure she would bring some weird gift. Eventually, Azusa settles on one pair, but she still isn't sure Yu will like it. Ritsu tries to encourage her, saying that anyone who doesn't like whatever gift their friends give them isn't really a friend. This works. Azusa becomes really motivated, thanks him, and feels proud of her gift. She imagines Yu wearing the gloves and starts to get excited. On the way home, Yu gets a call from Yuki, who assumes he will spend spend his birthday with Azusa and is surprised when he says otherwise. Yu tells her about the company party and that Azusa might celebrate his birthday with him then. Yuki warns him not to repeat what he did that one time from way back when he was asked whose present was better and answered everyone's, which ended up upsetting everyone. She explains that when he tries to be nice to everyone, someone always ends up getting hurt. Yu understands. Even though Azusa is helping with the birthday party, she wants to keep it a secret from Yu because she doesn't want him to feel guilty. Ritsu arrives with food and they take a short break to eat. When Azusa returns to work, Yu invites her to lunch, but she declines and says they'll go another time. She suddenly stands up, yells at him to make sure he eats real food, then leaves. Akemi and other co-workers discuss how Azusa is really interested in this year's event and how she is even willing to do anything she can to help. They know this is very unlike her and wonder what caused the change of heart. When Akemi looks at the list of birthday celebrants, she immediately understands why. Azusa and the others are working on a sign. And honestly, it looks pretty basic. I mean, a 3-year-old could probably do better. Ritsu hands the list of birthday people to Azusa, and she notices that one of her mentors, Uza, is on it. They decide to add some of Uza's favorite dishes to the menu. As Azusa stands up to make a call, she clumsily knocks paint onto the sign. This is terrifying for everyone. Azusa suggests they redo it, but the others have more important things to do, so they apologize and leave. Azusa returns to her desk, and when closing time comes, Yu suggests they leave together. Azusa tells him to go ahead since she still has more work to do. Despite being confused about her sudden weird behavior, Yu leaves without questioning further. Immediately after, Azusa also leaves her desk to continue working on the sign. Unknown to her, Yu has forgotten his bus card. As Azusa tries to figure out how to fix the sign, Yu watches her closely. She gets a jump scare when she realizes he is there. Yu explains that when he came back for his bus card, he noticed she wasn't at her desk and that only this room's lights were on. He offers to help since he has already seen everything. Azusa tries to discourage him, but realizing she's struggling, she accepts. Yu summons his inner artist. While they work, Azusa gets paint on her face and Yu offers her a cloth to wipe it off. Their hands touch and they freeze, staring at each other like time itself stopped. The moment is broken when they hear people approaching and they laugh it off. In the end, the sign looks much better than before and they're satisfied. That night, Azusa can't sleep because she is worried about what Yu will think of her gift, but eventually she drifts off. At the party the next day, everyone is shocked that Azusa is basically doing all the work and that she puts so much effort into the setup. She offers some co-workers drinks in a scary way, but feels relieved, thinking she did a good job there. Yu tells the others that Azusa is just awkward, but she's a really good person and he wants other people to know that about her. Some co-workers give Akemi all the credit for the party setup and the sign. When they leave, Azusa comes around and asks if there's anything else she can help with, but Akemi tells her to just enjoy herself. Azusa is not satisfied with this and keeps pushing. This pisses Akemi off, who yells at her and accidentally knocks over some nearby boxes in the process. Azusa reacts quickly and pushes Akemi out of the way. Yu immediately rushes over and notices the bruise on Azusa's hand. He takes her to the meeting room and helps treat it. He scolds her, telling her to be more careful and listing all the reckless things she has done since they met, including trying to fix the sign alone. Azusa explains that she just wanted the day to be perfect for her friend. That word stings Yu a bit, but before he can respond, Akemi interrupts. She apologizes for earlier and informs them that everyone is waiting for Yu. They return to the party and the celebration begins. Yu is surrounded by a bunch of girls who have presents for him, while Azusa feels pathetic and considers not giving hers. Miho pushes her forward and she shyly excuses Yu for a few minutes. After the girls leave, she gives him her gift and anxiously asks what he thinks. Yu loves it. He thanks her for it, and when she starts to doubt whether her gift is any good compared to all the other stuff he is getting, he grabs her hand and tells her that even though he received many gifts, hers makes him the happiest. They immediately realize they're holding hands and let go, but Yu uses that opportunity to confess that his feelings for her are not just friendship, completely surprising Azusa. Azusa completely misunderstands Yu's confession, believing he means that they are not just friends but mentor and mentee. Yu is about to correct her when Minori calls out to him saying the birthday celebrants are needed to give a closing speech. Yu leaves, and Miho immediately rushes over to Azusa, but Azusa is frozen in place, weighed down by disappointment. When she finally looks up, she asks for a drink. After they return home, Azusa tells Miho everything Yu said. Miho immediately recognizes it as an obvious confession, but Azusa remains confused since Yu never spelled it out clearly. Miho explains that Yu has had a crush on her for a long time and believes he blurted it out because he was genuinely excited about receiving a gift from her. She reassures Azusa that Yu will ask her out soon and even predicts that he will call her. Just then, Azusa's phone rings. She is startled, thinking it might be Yu, but Miho sees that it isn't, and Azusa feels relieved. Meanwhile, Yu is actually debating whether he should call Azusa. He chokes on his drink when Ritsu asks if he has already asked her out. Yu replies that he just planted the idea. Ritsu puts the blame on him for asking to be friends first. He then asks Yu about his type, revealing that Azusa is his own. He explains that he couldn't get close to her because she usually avoids human interaction, assuming no one would like her. But luckily for Yu, their work brought them closer. Azusa is still bothered and refuses to believe that what Yu said was a confession. Bro's denial ability is at peak level. She is unsure how she even feels about it. Miho asks how she would feel if Yu confessed to another girl instead. When Azusa imagines it, she realizes she doesn't like the thought. Miho then offers to help her come up with a strategy. The next day at work, Azusa is lost in thought about Yu and the fact that he never reached out to her all through the weekend. She tries to convince herself that she is not bothered by whether it was a confession or not, and that she is mentally prepared prepared for whatever the outcome is, but ends up using the wrong card. Before she can fully process what just happened, Yu places his card down, granting them access. They greet each other awkwardly, and Azusa immediately runs away. So much for being mentally prepared. Throughout the workday, there is thick tension between them, so noticeable that everyone around can feel it. It's obvious something happened, and both of them are painfully awkward. While lost in thought, Azusa is snapped back to reality when Yu calls out to her. He stutters as he tries to apologize for the other day, referring to what he said as weird and telling her not to worry about it. He then excuses himself to get a drink. Azusa appears unbothered at first, but when she goes to the bathroom stall to think about it, she becomes furious that he called what happened between them weird. To her, Yu seems completely chill about the situation, while she spent the entire weekend getting advice on how to act and what to do. She yells from the bathroom that she thought about it all weekend. Yu sits alone in the lobby, thinking about the whole thing, when Azusa suddenly stands over him like a boss fight about to start. Miho and Ritsu notice this and stop to watch, and other employees begin to gather as well. This is premium entertainment for them. No need for a Netflix subscription. Azusa demands to know why Yu called their interaction weird. Yu attempts to apologize, but she cuts him off, unleashing everything she has been holding in. She scolds him for saying all those nice things to her, only to act as if nothing happened afterward, while she couldn't even sleep all weekend because of it. Azusa tells him that his confession disrupted her normal life, so she is going to do something about it. She proposes a 3-month dating trial. Throughout all this, Yu is just standing there completely confused. When he finally tries to speak, Azusa shuts him down again, saying she has used up all her energy for the day and is going home. Miho and Ritsu are satisfied with Azusa's courage. It's like that relief you get when your introvert friend finally starts dating. They approach Azusa and congratulate her for finally being able to say it. Azusa feels the entire situation was embarrassing and completely one-sided, but Miho reassures her that Yu is probably very excited as they're speaking. The 3-month trial was Miho's idea. Miho and Ritsu then advise Azusa on how to behave during the trial dating period, telling her to let everything happen naturally and not to do too much. Ironic advice, considering Azusa has already done too much. The next day, Azusa dresses up in the outfit that previously got the best reaction from Yu before heading out. She arrives at the venue a few minutes early, only to see that Yu is already there. They take a walk together before settling down somewhere. Azusa chooses a restaurant for dinner, and the two talk for a while, teasing each other comfortably. Azusa suggests that during their 3-month dating trial, they should learn more about each other, explaining that she wants to find out what the special thing between them is. They hold hands and head to the restaurant. Both of them wait in line and are soon called in next. After getting their food, they take a few bites and then exchange dishes to taste each other's meals. When Yu tastes Azusa's food, he notices her red lipstick stain on the spoon. Azusa notices this too and feels embarrassed, and things get awkward fast. However, Yu breaks the tension and he suggests that they keep visiting many places together.